numbers. 6.1 waxaan ku bilaabayaa limits of accuracy. Learning outcomes. By the end of the lesson, learners should be able to make reasonable approximations and estimations of quantities, identify the upper and the lower bounds of data given, and then rounding of numbers. That will be the last one. Now, any measurement we make is rounded to some degree of accuracy. The degree of rounding gives the possible values of the measurements before rounding. Now, this is an example. A lighthouse is 76 meters tall, measured to the nearest meter. Now the lighthouse is 76 meters to the nearest, meaning the number before 76 is 75, the number after 76 is 77. So the difference between 75 and 76 is 1. The difference between 77 and 76 is also 1. So this one is known as the least unit of measurement. Now the error will be equal to plus or minus half into bracket the least unit of measurement. The least unit of measurement is half multiplied by 1. I have half multiplied by 1 is the same as half, which is 0.5. So the lighthouse, the upper will be 76 plus 0.5, and then 76 minus 0.5. So this is 76.5, and then 75.5. So x, which is representing the height of that lighthouse, this is 5, and then 75.5. So x, which is representing the height of that lighthouse, this is greater or equal to 75.5 less 76.5. So less 76.5 is 76.4. If you round to the nearest whole number, you get 76. If you round off this one again to the nearest whole number, you get 76. Next. The next example is that a girl height is 162 centimeters. 162 centimeters to the nearest centimeter, that is, to the nearest centimeter. Work out the lower and the upper bound within which a height can lie. Represent this range numbers on a number line, and then lastly, if the girl height is h centimeters, express this range as inequality. Now I said, since the chapter is limits of accuracy, we are told the girl's height is 162 centimeters. This is measured to the nearest centimeter. We have 161 and then 163. So the difference is 1. The difference is also 1. So therefore, you say the error will be equal to plus or minus half into bracket. The least unit of measurement is 1. And then I get plus or minus 0.5. So the upper bound of 162 will be 162.5 and then 161.5. So this is called the upper limit or upper bound, and this is the lower bound or the lower limit. Now question number 1 reads, work out the lower and the upper bound within which a height can lie. This is the upper and the lower bound. Number 2, you are told represent this range of numbers on a number line. So the number line, this is 162, this is 161.5, this is 162.5. So this is the number line. I just circle this one, and I will be using an open circle here, because this one, if I round off this one, it will become 163. So that is using the number line. The last one is, if a girl's height is h centimeters, express this range or in an equality. So h, which is the height of the girl, is greater or equal to 161.5 less 162.5. 162.5. Number 2. Example 2. Calculate the upper and the lower bounds for the following calculations, given that each number is given to the nearest whole number. Now, since the first one is 9, 9 plus 10. 9 plus 10. The first one is known as the working sum. I just add them together. Working sum is 10 plus 9, you get 19. That is the working sum. So this one is 9. So the upper limit of 9, you add plus 0.5. And then this one is minus 0.5. The next one is 10. This is 10.5, and then 9.5. I subtract minus 0.5, I add plus 0.5. So the first one will be maximum sum. Maximum sum. Maximum sum, you add the upper limits or the upper bound. The upper bound is 9.5 plus 10.5. You get 19 plus that minimum sum will be equal to the lower bounds. That is, if you subtract 9.5, you get 8.5, and then you get also this one, you get 9.5. So these two, you get 18.0. That is the minimum sum and the maximum sum. The next one is multiplication. Multiplication of 9 times 10. 9 times 10. So 9 times 10, I'll be starting with the limits. So this is 9 plus 0.5, you get 9.5. Minus 0.5, you get 8.5. 10 plus 0.5 will be equal to 10.5. And then this is 9.5. So maximum product, we are told to calculate the maximum. So maximum product will be equal to the multiplication of the upper bounds. So 9.5 times 10.5. And then minimum product. Minimum product will be equal to the lower limits, 8.5 multiplied by 9.5. So the first one, 9.5 times 9.5 times 10.5, 99.75. 99.75. 8.5 times 9.5, you get 80.75. has no multiplication. The next one. The next example is division. Division is 5 divided by 8. 5 divided by 8. 5 divided by 8, I'll start with the limits. 5 is 5.5, 4.5. 8 plus 0.5, you get 8.5, and then 7.5. The first one is 5.5. That is, I'll start with the lower limit. That is 4.5. Followed by the upper limit, which is 5.5. Followed by the lower limit, 7.5. Followed by the upper limit of the second, which is 8.5. So I'll start with maximum quotient. Maximum quotient. Maximum quotient. Quotient is when you divide two numbers, the answer you get is known as the quotient. So maximum quotient will be the upper limit of the first divided by the lower limit. So the upper limit of the first is 5.5 divided by the lower limit of the second is 7.5. Maximum quotient. Minimum quotient will be equal to the lower limit of the first divided by the upper limit of the second. Upper limit of the second. So the upper limit of the first, the lower limit of the first will be, the limit of the first is 4.5. So minimum quotient will be equal to 4.5 divided by 8.5. 4.5 divided by 8.5. So I will divide. I get 5.5 divided by 7.5. I get 0.7333. So this one you get 0.7333, and this one I will get 4.5 divided by 8.5. I get 0.5. So that is the maximum and the minimum quotients. Maximum and minimum quotients. The next one is difference, that is minus. 12 minus 9. 12 minus 9. Start with the upper. You write 12.5, 11.5, 9. You get 9.5. The upper limit, you always add plus 0.5 there. This one becomes 8.5. So I'll still draw the same line. The first one is 11.5, 12.5, 8.5, and then 9.5. 9.5. So minimum difference. I'll start with the minimum difference and maximum difference. Maximum difference will be the upper limit of the first minus the lower limit of the second, 8.5. And this one is the lower limit of the first minus the upper limit of the second. So there you get, I said you divide, first of all, you divide this one and this one. You also divide, you subtract, you subtract. So 11.5 minus 9.5, you get 2. And this one you get 4. So that is the maximum difference and the minimum difference. Maximum difference, minimum difference. Next, find the maximum and the minimum possible sums of the following. Maximum and the minimum possible sums of the following. 10.1 plus 9.34 centimeters. So the first one, 10.1, first of all, the error will be plus 0.05. Since this one contains one decimal, the error will be 2, and this one is minus 0.05. So this will be 10.15, and this is 10.05. The next one is 9.34. The error will be plus 0.05, 005. I said this one is 005. This is 005, and this is minus 0.005. I get 9.345. This is 9.335. So maximum sum. You add the two upper limits, 10.5, 10.15 plus 9.345. Minimum sum. Minimum sum will be 10.05 plus 9.335. So I add these two. 10.15 plus 9.345, that is 5949 and then 1. You get 19.495. And the next one will be 10.05 plus 9.335, that's 58391. You get 19.385. So that is the maximum sum and the minimum sum for that example. Next, 1.2 plus 1.2 plus 1.0 centimeters. I'll start with the bonds. 1.1, 1.2, the error will be plus 0.05. This is minus 0.05. This is 1.0. The error will be plus 0.05 minus 0.05. So this is 1.25, 1.15, 1.05, 0.05. 0.05. Yes. So the maximum sum, I add the upper limits, 1.25 plus 1.05. So this will be 2 and then 2.3. 2.3. Minimum sum. The minimum sum is the lower limits, 1.15 plus 0.05. You get 1.20 centimeters. That is the next example. Rounding of numbers. Rounding of numbers. Rounding of numbers. This is the last example. The number is 395.184. You're told to round off this one to the nearest hundreds. So this is known as the decimal point line. Starting to the left, this is ones, then tens, then hundreds. That is the place value. This is a tenth, The next one becomes 100. And then lastly becomes thousands. So A, to the nearest 100. This is where 100 is. So to the nearest 3, we have 9. You add, you round up, that one becomes 400. That is A. B, to 4 significant figures. Significant figures, I start counting from the left. So this is 1, 3, 9, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 8 there, you add 1, you get 395.2. The next one is to the nearest whole number. The whole number, we have 5 there, in front you have 1. So you round down that one, the answer becomes 395. Then lastly, to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places is here, 1, 8. In front of 8 you have 4. So this is less than 5, you round down, the answer becomes 395.18. Marka casharka intaas ku dhan yahay. Linkiga hoos ka qor.